Welcome, patrons. It's Sunday, the 31st of May. It's time for the monthly board report for members of the board here on Patreon. Want to welcome the over 100, 150 or more new patrons here on Patreon. Thanks so much for your support. You're making a huge difference. The last series of videos, as you know, the first three of them on the tragic loss of Flight 8303 have been demonetized by YouTube. Your patronage here on Patreon is making a difference. It's making up the difference for what YouTube is not doing on their end of the deal. Even though they're posting commercials, some of you are reporting, especially guys down in Australia, you're seeing commercials on the demonetized videos, but the creators, I'm getting nothing from that. Now that and why does YouTube do this? It's this crummy blanket policy they have about trying to not encourage people to make money off of tragic events. They call it sad events. They call it content unsuitable for all advertisers. But of course, this is something the mainstream media does all the time. So even despite a human review or anything else, you can't get past it. And not until enough time has passed by. And now on the fourth video in the series, that video has been monetized by YouTube as enough time has passed. But the important part of the story has already come and gone. And with your support on Patreon, the difference you're making is over in Pakistan and the whole aviation culture over there itself. I've done 3 interviews with various media sources over in Pakistan. I've posted some of it here on Patreon. There's one more I got to find and get it posted up here. Getting the straight information out, just the facts, is something virtually unheard of in Pakistan, and getting the straight information out quickly has really helped inform the people of Pakistan. And I'm telling you, those folks, I want to welcome all you guys from Pakistan here on Patreon and on the YouTube channel. Those folks have had it. They've just been hammered with a terrible aviation safety record for years and years and years. And the story I hear, I don't have any firsthand knowledge of it, but it's consistently a story of inept bureaucracy. It's a government-run airline, overstaffed with unqualified people who are only concerned about protecting their jobs, and a cowboy-like culture among the pilots and their godlike status in the community that prevents proper CRM to occur, and a rather lax culture regarding standard operating procedures. This has to change in Pakistan, and you guys here on Patreon are helping to make a difference, because we're getting the information out there, and they're getting the story correct. So over those videos have got, I don't know, over 2 million views or something like that, and right now we're closing in on 200,000 subscribers on YouTube, and about 1,700 patrons here on Patreon. So my new goal is to keep it at about 10%, 2,000 patrons here on Patreon to match the 200,000 subscribers on YouTube, because you patrons mean so much more than the subscribers on YouTube. So we're out here today at about the 6,000 foot elevation. This is Sawmill Lake here in Nevada County. Let me turn the camera around here. Still some snow up in the high country above. This is crystal clear water down here, one of our favorite family camping spots, only about 30 miles away from the Blanco Lirio Global Headquarters. There's a dam and spillway right over there. This is part of the Nevada Irrigation Water District, which is basically left over from the gold mining days. This water was dammed up during the gold rush for hydraulic mining way downstream. Back there is a non-motorized area, beautiful backpacking, whole series of high alpine lakes just now icing out. And we're out on the Rally Raid CB500X. There's some razors, they're not with me today. After a big service on that bike, I want to getting the itch to hit the road here. Maybe do some road traveling here soon. A couple points of clarification on the 8303 situation. We still don't know why this approach started off so high. We don't know why, well, if that's a standard procedure into Karachi or not. Nevertheless, as we learned, they should have knocked off the high steep approach a long time prior. ATC did direct them to knock off the approach and go around, and the pilot did disregard those instructions. It was a little bit of indirect communication on behalf of the ATC. Normally here in the States, they would say go around. When somebody says go around, you comply. You have usually here in the States, when they say go around, it's because of there's something ahead of you that you need to get out of the way of, like an aircraft encroaching on the runway, or a vehicle, or some kind of a conflict ahead that you need to get out of the way. It's up to the captain to properly fly his airplane and keep it the correct speed and the correct glide slope. Another point, remember the Airbus has 3 different laws of logic: normal law, alternate law, and direct law. The Airbus A320 is a fly-by-wire aircraft. The fly-by-wire aircraft provides protections against doing things, some of the traditional mistakes that pilots make in accidents, overspeeding the aircraft or stalling the aircraft. Regarding overspeeding, the Airbus will allow you to go right into about 5 to 10 knots of an overspeed condition. It will allow you to overspeed the aircraft, but you can point that nose straight down, and it's only going to get into about 10 knots of overspeed, and then it's going to not allow you to descend any steeper. Regardless, it'll allow you to get into an overspeed situation. It just won't allow you to auger it straight down into the ground. Stalling, normal law prevents you from stalling the aircraft as well. You can haul all the way back on the stick. It's going to add power and reduce the angle of attack such that it does not stall. However, if you get into a situation like this crew did, where they damaged the engines to the point where the ram air turbine extended from the aircraft, investigators are going to find out that this probably put the aircraft into direct law, if not alternate law, direct law. Direct law being the lowest, being the virtually no protections left at all. You are directly controlling the flight controls. Whatever input you put into the stick is directly going to the flight controls. Normally the computers have probably a 40 or 60% vote as to what goes into the flight controls under normal law. So the point is that under direct law, yes, you then can stall the aircraft, and that's why survivors are reporting that the aircraft shuttered before impact. That was a stall shutter, and you could see the extreme high angle of attack in the final bit of videotape before the crash occurred. I suspect investigators are going to find out that the Airbus, that 3808 at that time, with the gear down, was in direct law, possibly alternate law. That's how they were able to stall the aircraft. So lots more to keep track of on that incident. Thanks again so much for your support. It's making a big difference. The folks in Pakistan, you deserve better. See you here.